All right, we are live, it looks like here. Yep, looks good. Let me get my chat back up where it was before. I'm not sure how I lost it, but it was on this side. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Let me get this down, restore chat. I've invited WhiskyThrottle to join us. I'm not sure if he is able to. I couldn't tell from a message I received if he was in transit from his house to his house or if he was already there. We talked about doing a live show tonight, so just spur of the moment. It was funny because we were talking about it as Rob went on the air, so we both joined and hung out with Rob for a little bit and heard about the good news about McKellen dropping the prices. That's awesome. Hey, Agnes, good to see you. Good evening, and let me move you over here so I can look at the camera instead of the other side there. Duncan and Swami, good to see you. Yeah, WhiskyThrottle might, if you see the screen just go haywire, he is joining in. I sent him an invite via the Google Hangouts, so hopefully he'll be able to get in. Oh, hey Jason, thanks for stopping by first time. Where are you from? Which state? Just out of curiosity. And it's always good to have first timers on board. We're going to take a look at a couple samples I received. One from my usual circle that we're doing the distillery tour of all distilleries of Scotland. We're going to be on one called, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this guy. This is, if the Ultavonia is what I think it is, this would be a Beinn Dubh, I think. It's Gaelic for the Black Mountain, and it's from a Speyside distillery called Speyside, which is really funny. This is very different than any Scotch I've ever seen, and we'll get to that in a second. Also, we're going to look at another buddy of mine locally that stopped by personally here at the house, and we traded some samples. He got me the Linkwood 19-year. It's Alexander Murray cask strength at 53.8% from 1997. That should be hopefully good. Alexander Murray's been hit or miss for me. I've had one that I liked, one that was okay. I think one of the other samples he let me taste was Auchentoshan 21, but both of us were kind of like, I can't remember which distiller that might have been Barry's. I'll have to look and see, but we'll get to that later. Speyside Beinn Dubh. I'm not sure about that. That's a tough one. Swami says, God, I can't get away from the throttle for fat man. He sure moves quick. Damn. My God, Swami, you must have got an early start or just in a special mood. I'm wearing the headset tonight because I figured if I'm having a guest over, they'll probably be coming through, and I didn't want a bunch of noise issues and all that. So it's just easier sometimes to do a headset and be done with the damn thing. Well, hopefully he'll be able to join us later. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Like I said, the Beinn Dubh is Black Mountain from the Speyside distillery, which is kind of funny. They couldn't even come up with a name. I didn't look at the notes that my friends had. I had two friends review it earlier, and it looks like one of them gave them an average review, and one of them gave them actually a good review. So this should be interesting. One thing that threw me off right away, and you will see from this glass, what do you think is really strange about this whiskey? Now, this is just 43%. It's a no age statement. I'm wondering why in the world is that dark as hell? I mean, this is like Guinness dark, like dark coffee, black coffee dark. So either they've used some sort of crazy cask, and unfortunately, I can't find any information about this particular offering, but I guess they call it Black Mountain for a reason. I mean, it is, if it's got E150 in it, they must have taken the whole bottle and just dumped it in the damn thing. That scares me. But the fact that these two gentlemen, which I do value both of their opinions very highly, that they, one thought it was okay, one thought it was, pretty damn good. I have to trust them on this one. It does hold its viscosity really well. It doesn't drip too fast. Tells me it's going to be hopefully at least a medium mouth coat. This is from Lee G. You probably remember him from the DC Expo. and it looks like Glendronach 21. If it only tasted like that, I mean, it could. I don't think they would. I'm sure they would be really giving it some rave reviews if it was that great, but hopefully it's not terrible. We'll do this one first, I'm thinking, and then the Linkwood cast strength because it's a little bit more punchy, I'm thinking. I've never had either one of these before. This is completely going in. That is wild. Almost like a black jelly bean. Some dark fruit. It's amazingly tame, but 43%. I'm not really surprised. It's not like jumping out at me. I got to really do some digging on this one. Get some mild floral properties in there. I'm getting some honeycomb. I have a feeling it's going to be sweet, but you know, it is Speyside. That would not be surprising. I like sweet dram, so maybe we'll get lucky. I'm just scared by the color, but I mean, if it was like a 35, 40 year, it'd be different, but and there's no age statement, man. It's a complete mystery. Hopefully the microphone's not picking up all my swishes. I'm not trying to pull a horse or anything here. Wow. That is completely different from anything I've ever had. Not to say in a bad way. It's just, well, I know what you're saying, Swami. I'm not a big fan of black licorice. It's subtle, thankfully, on the palate. It's more of a nose thing, but the taste is more actually a hell of a lot of mocha espresso. It's thinner than I thought it was going to be. The legs kind of fooled me on this one. As thin as it is, it should have ran a little quicker. I did let them sit out for a while after I poured them, you know, gave it a good 15 minutes. Hey, Mark. Howdy. In Santa Cruz, I think I saw you pop in somewhere in there. He says Santa at least. Well, there you are. Yeah, this is completely different. It's got a really slight touch of that black jelly bean still in the palate. Thankfully, it's a lot more on the nose. It's sweet. It's got some nice deep spice, I'd say. It's got some heavy mocha, heavy espresso kind of notes. I'm trying to think of what else am I really getting. There's some fruit. More of a cream. Probably because I'm getting so much mocha and coffee kind of notes that I can get this like this vanilla cream on the side. Maybe a little caramel. I'm hunting for the fruit though. I wish there was more regular, straightforward fruit. What is it? This is called and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, Mark. It's a Beinn Dubh, I think how you say it. It's BeinnDubh, and BH is usually a soft V in Gaelic, so it's Dubh. The Alta Vanya is the what I used to call Alta Beinn, and this is Beinn. I think it's like Benya or Ben, at least Beinn Dubh. I'm thinking it means Black Mountain. It's from a Speyside distillery called Speyside, which is kind of funny. I sent you an invite, Throttle. Go ahead and take a look and see if you can join in on the live here. And not a very original name. This is a very original dram. 43%. I'm trying to debate it how into it I am. It's so different than any of the Scotch I've ever had. It's certainly a hell of a lot better than a famous gross smoky black or something like that. But is it, is it on the caliber of some of like a, an age statement plus to a 15? I don't know about that either. It's kind of maybe in the middle. Some chocolate. It's got a lot of great notes. It's just all either sweet, bitter combination, because you got the coffee, the mocha, the chocolate, the caramel, the vanilla, cream. You got a lot of things going on, but there certainly isn't any fruit aspect. If there's floral, it's very subtle. There's maybe some honeycomb in there. It's I'm certainly not getting any herbal notes. Maybe some spice. I'm trying to debate on. I don't think it's cinnamon. It's kind of it's a little more even deeper than that. I'm trying to think of one of the deepest spices I can think of. That's I think of black pepper. I think it's as a black pepper that I'm getting out of that too. So I mean, it is complex for what it is. It's 43%. It's certainly tasty. I mean, I drank that whole thing fairly quickly without it doesn't. I mean, you can tell it's Scotch, but it tastes so different. It's almost like a Scotch espresso. That's all I can think of at this point on this deal. You got to be in the mood for a sweet dram. It's kind of, I would probably, if I had to compare it to something else, even though it's not like it, it's close enough, would be the Auchentoshan 3-Wood. It's got that kind of molasses-y, not quite a Scotch taste going on. And I if I'm in the mood for it, I do enjoy it. So it's solid. It doesn't have much finish to speak of, unfortunately. At least it's not dry. So I'm thinking, I think we'll go 3.25 on that guy out of 5. Excuse me, 0.25 increments. I'm thinking that's fair. Is this a little bit, maybe slightly better than average, but it's not like a game changer. I do like the fact that it's got some really crazy notes going on and it is complex. So I might bump it up to a 3.5, but that's about as far as I think I would go. Unfortunately, Travis, I don't have a lot of information. Let me see if I can dig something up real fast, because sometimes I get lucky. And I did some distiller checks, and I didn't get anything necessarily from there. But let's see if I can get anything else. Let's see. Its own version of, let's see. Why the black? Trying to see if I've got anything. And it's funny, just browsing through some of the reviews on it, either people love it, they give it a solid 5 stars, and then you've got your, and there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and then of course you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 to 2 stars. So it's kind of a very divided outcome on this. I think the Auchentoshan 3 was probably the same kind of thing, if I had to take a guess. If they don't use any sherry or some sort of like special cask, I'd be really surprised. Is this so different than anything else? I'm trying to see if maybe Master Malt's got some extra information on it, just for curiosity. They got similar notes that I got, thankfully, but trying to see if I get anything for cask information. If anyone knows on the oh, I need to resend. Okay, give me 1 second there. Throttle, hold on 1 second. Let me get my mouse down here. Here we go. I should still have it cached where I can just paste it and invite. I invited WhiskyThrottle and Shaw.ca, so that should work theoretically. Whiskey Base had info. Okay. Whiskey Base. I'm trying to think if is that the one that has a lot of different this is different. I don't think I've been to this site before. Thanks Travis. I learned a new resource. You can never have too many. Black international. This one says 40%. That's not correct, I don't believe, unless it's a different. Here we go. Different bottling, maybe. looking to see if there's Ruby Black and Tawny Port Cask. Okay. Hey, Throttle, you there?
I'm here.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your camera is completely black, my friend.
Yeah. Give me a sec here. We'll see if it's going to turn on.
It's cool. Just make sure you got the cover and all that. Sometimes I put the cover on if I'm not using it.
No, not that part.
Ruby Black and Tawny Port Cask sounds good. Thanks, Travis. This is a good resource. You're right, man. I'm surprised I haven't used this before. I think I actually have when I was looking for prices on the bottom. Oh, there we go.
I think I'm coming in.
Yeah, but I'm hearing myself there.
Yeah. Okay. I just bent down, ripped my freaking knee apart. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting old there, young fella. Getting old.
I hear you.
I'm going to try something different here.
That's cool.
Okay. You keep talking. I got to go grab a dram.
All right. Did you get me muted? No, I'm still not muted. Can you hear me?
Mute you?
Yeah, I hear myself.
How do I mute you?
You might.
Can you hear me? Now I can't hear you, though. But I can't hear what you're saying. Can't hear a word. You have to unmute yourself now. I don't think I can unmute you.
Okay. Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. I can still hear me coming through you. You're going to have to do something with the headset, I think.
What's here is, yeah.
Because I'm coming through your speakers and I can hear myself
through your headphones.
Yeah.
Do you need the headphones on? Is that the only way you can hear me and not through the speaker?
I don't think it's something I can change your
I have whatever's here is muted, right?
Okay. This might not work.
Yeah, it's working. Okay. I think.
Yeah, but I can hear my voice. You're gonna have to do something different. I can't hear my voice.
Can you hear? Is it better now?
Nope.
So only when you talk. Like when I'm silent, it doesn't bother.
Right. If I say anything, I can hear myself come back.
It's because you have the headphones on.
Well, let me take this in. 1 second. I can still hear myself.
Well, when I talk, what do you hear now?
Yeah, but it's me. I'm hearing myself come through your speakers. That's the problem. We went a different way.
I don't know. This is always how it's been set up before. I don't see. Let me go here.
Well,
you can hear me.
You there?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear myself still. We might have to play with this.
What do you mean you can hear yourself? You can't hear yourself when you're not talking.
When I'm talking, I hear myself like an echo right after the fact.
So do you have another YouTube window open?
No, I mean, 1 second.
If your YouTube window, your Hangouts is open, and then what you're hearing is a delayed echo of what you've said 10 seconds ago, right?
Not 10 seconds. It's like a millisecond.
A millisecond? Well, then you might have another window open, and you need to leave that open, but you need to mute it.
It's already muted. That's the problem.
I only have one open.
It's because I'm coming through your speakers.
Yeah, but if I shut my speakers off, then I can't hear you speak.
You might have to have a headset, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
I can make that happen. Hold on. I'll look like Charles. I'll put the headset on.
Sorry, man. This is our first try at this. It's probably a little early.
I've never had to have it set that way. Give me one other second here. You have a couple more drinks and you won't even notice it anyway, buddy.
There we go. Well, I'll try to work through this one if I can hear myself. Let's go to one here. This is I can't do this because I can't get stuff is throwing it off. Oh my goodness.
Wonder what happens if I put this on.
I think we all need 2 drinks.
2.
That's strong.
I'm getting a drink. Can you hear me? Is it still echoing?
I can hear you and myself.
You sure you don't have something playing in the background?
I swear to God.
You're the computer specialist.
I know I don't see how you didn't have this issue when you were talking to the other guys on their when you were streaming. Let's see, were you wearing a headset before?
No, I've never had to wear a headset before.
Oh man. Well, I bet there's like some of these people that do these shows. They got to tell me what am I missing here, because only other than both of us wearing headsets, I'm not sure how you can get around this. If can anybody tell me what's the easy fix for this, please? Other than him having a headset, if he hasn't had to wear one before, I'm not sure what I'm missing. I can hear you.
What happened here now?
You're fine now. I hear you, and I don't hear myself.
Microphone.
God, we're the children. What is he on? Swami's lost his mind, I think. No, this is perfect. I'm not sure what you did, but whatever you did is fine. The echo's gone. Everything's cool. Don't touch anything. Duncan's right. Don't touch anything. So we good? Uh-oh, did you touch something?
I can hear you now.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. It was working.
You hearing an echo?
No. When you whatever you did was fine, so it's all good. Anyway.
So you can hear me now.
Yep.
You're not hearing a reverb.
Nope.
Okay, I definitely need a drink after this.
I hear you, man. Have you by chance ever heard of the just the Speyside distillery? That's not really named anything special. It's just called Speyside.
It does ring a bell, yes.
Have you ever heard of this Beinn Dubh? It's the Black Mountain, 43% from that distillery. It's
repeat the question.
Have you heard of the? It's spelled Beinn, like I think it's pronounced Beinn, then Dubh, Dubh, from that distillery.
Okay, I'm just trying to change something here.
Oh, uh-oh.
No, it's not bad.
Okay. I was curious if you ever had this one or have heard of this one. It's very different. That's the first one I went with, just hanging out, and it's a 3.25 to 3.5. I mean, it's decent, but it's so different than the usual Scotch flavor, kind of like an Okotosh 3-wood. I'm not sure if most would like it, but the people that like that kind of thing, I think they would be into it. I'm going to take a look at the Alexander Murray 19-year. It's a Linkwood cast strength, 53.8. And we're going neat in this because we both need it.
I'm going to grab something right now.
All right, no problem, man. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry for all the craziness. Hey, Lee, you put on some Jefferson Airplane. This all sound normal. Yeah. Did you? I saw you. I can't remember if you or I think it was you. You liked it more than than Paul, but I didn't look at your notes. But did you get kind of similar what I was talking about, or did you hear the notes I was giving earlier, Lee? Just out of curiosity. It's a good one. I appreciate the sample too, Lee, by the way. That's a nice one. This one's from my friend Tosh. You guys know him as Tosh. I think you pronounce it Nos, DHNOSS. He's on Scotch for Dummies, sometimes my channel. I think he's goes into some of your else channels as well. He's in DC.
Okay.
What you popping open there?
Well, I'm gonna start off with a Canadian.
Oh.
If I don't trash the other bottle first, a 15-year-old.
Nice. Weisers.
Weisers. This is not one that some people will like because it replaces the Weiser's Legacy.
Oh.
So really, this is pretty much corn.
But it's
with a hint of rye.
But it's a 15. You'd think that they would like that better than it not being an age statement, right?
Yeah, I think that there was a better mash bill on the other one.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Huh. So let me ask a question about my Bowmore #1 back here, which is a very entry level. I got it for like $25 about it being one of his favorites, and he retracted the message. I'm not sure what he's up to.
Who retracted the message?
This is Swami. He's up to something, I think.
He's a troublemaker.
Your notes work. I got cappuccino and soda notes too. Oh, the soda. That's what I missed. Yeah, someone else reviewed that one, Lee. The Beinn Dubh. I'm trying to remember who it was. I thought it was Paul. Maybe it was Scott or somebody else. But yeah, that's one thing I haven't tried a lot of is the Canadian whiskey. I need to get more into it. Recently, I had a Pittyvac. It's a Pittyvaich. It's a distillery. It was I'm trying to remember the year. I think it was like a 12-year Flora and Fauna bottle. And my friend Paul said that it was very Canadian, and I'm surprised that he said that because I never really had it. But I love that dram. It's very different. So I'm gonna have to try that actually. I think. What would be good?
Are you going to go through withdrawals, not being able to get Scotch in your? Yeah, I am a little bit because I opened some pretty nice bottles before I came down here, Santa Cruz, and I drove all the way to Regina to get this bottle for World Whiskey Day.
What would you recommend as a good entry Canadian for about maybe $50-$60, just out of curiosity?
Well, for you down there, I mean, the Canadian stuff you can get. First of all, you need to understand that Canadian whiskey is made slightly different. And there's a guy who wrote a book. If you watch the last STD Scotch Test Dummies promo or impromptu, they showed a book that I sent down there called The Canadian Whiskey Portal. And it's written by Davin de Kergamo.
Okay.
And it's really what Davin did was he was like a lot of you guys that are in the chat, he wrote notes down all the time for the whiskey. And his daughter one time said, "Dad, why don't you just put this in a book?" So he explains the whiskey, the kind of the history of whiskey. And one of the reasons that Canadian whiskey is so well known throughout the world is because of the American Prohibition. And I am in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, which is got a nickname of Little Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And I talked to a lady a couple days ago. She works for the city of Moose Jaw. And she's in an old train. I think I have a brochure. Oh, maybe I left it somewhere else. And they're promoting it. They got like Little Chicago written on it. It sells T-shirts and so on. And they have the tunnels of Moose Jaw. And one of the tours, there's two of them, is the Al Capone tunnel. So it actually takes you across the street. You leave the building where you buy your ticket. You cross the street. And you go upstairs into a speakeasy. They've got two animated robots in there. One's playing the piano, one's the bartender, and he kind of talks to you kind of gruff, like, who are they? And the girls that are taking you through are dressed up as flapper girls, and don't worry about who they are. They're here to see Al. They're here to help and check out about buying some Al's whiskey or whatever, right? Take you into another room, and it supposedly was Al Capone's office, right? There is people that say, hey, my grandfather said that he met Al Capone, but there are no records with his name signed on it and whatever, which I could believe that, because if you were a criminal, you just wouldn't sign your name. You'd sign somebody else's. And there wasn't a lot of, there was no IDs and stuff checked. I mean, my mom was born in Bangor, Maine, but she's a Canadian citizen, right? That was just what happened back in the day. So the Canadian whiskey has that little bit of a history to it, right? A lot of times people review or consider Canadian whiskey to be rye. And I think maybe back in the day maybe rye was growing a lot more, but it's way more expensive to grow rye than it is corn. And the thing to know about Canadian whiskey is that the laws are looser up here. And if you look at a bottle of Crown Royal, it just says Canadian whiskey on it. But if you got a bottle of Alberta Premium made in the province I live in, says 100% rye on it. Right? So like we learn all the time by watching, say, Ralphie, is the label doesn't lie. Right? Of course, we got to watch the words they use. We go to the grocery store, something says no fat, but it'll have all the sugar in the world in it. Right? The fat will cause you to have less fat in your body than the sugar will, but it has no fat in it, right? You'll buy a candy bar that says no gluten. Well, duh, there's but all the sugar in the world. So we have to watch the labels. And so if you ever watch any Trini and C?
Yeah, I've seen it has been a while, but I have seen a couple of their episodes before.
So they had one on with the guy that works for Wiser's and for the Corby Group, Dr. Livermore. I forget his full name, but it's a pretty good interview, and he talks about what they're doing through Wiser's. And so Wiser's, JP Wiser's and stuff, I mean, there's another link to Detroit and Windsor, Ontario, right? And Hiram Walker, which was an American who came over and he built a distillery because it's on the Canadian side. It's still there, right? So there's a lot of history that way. But when they're making Canadian whiskey, they will distill the corn, they will distill barley, and they will distill rye. And then they mix those spirits together after. Instead of, say, bourbon, where they grind them and make a mash and just make a malt and distill it then, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the very basics of it, right?
Is that your favorite? I mean, do you have a favorite as far as Canadian versus Scotch versus bourbon, or?
No, I don't have any favorites. And I was just saying this tonight in Whiskey Untitled, just based on their subject, and maybe they think I was being a smart ass, but I'm never a smart ass. But I think that, and I like your approach to with your whiskey and so forth, but I think a lot of us were asking too much of our whiskey. Why can't you just pour it and enjoy it and not, if you liked it, you liked it. Why break it down and try to find things in there that might not even be there? But if you're looking for it.
Yeah. I try to do quick, like if I try to pull, 3 or 4 things out of the nose, 3 or 4 things out of the palate, give to let you know if it's a decent finish or not, and move on to the next one. It's just, I'm having so much fun doing it. That's when my videos end up being like an hour and a half.
Swami, I know I'm not a smart ass, my man. Asshole, maybe.
These guys are a trip. Swami likes the. I thought he was joking, unless he's being sarcastic and I don't catch it. But he was talking about that Bowmore Edition 1 back there. I got it on sale off Masters of Malt when they were actually shipping to the United States, and very cheap. But it is. I mean, it's tasty for what it is. I never had a number 3, but I have to give. I'm definitely looking to try more. The only thing about Bowmore I'm not really big into is they're a thinner mouth coat than some of the other ones, but the flavor is decent, so I'm kind of still hanging in there.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've not liked every whiskey I've ever tried, but why not? There's, you know what, Swami? I'd like to have a. Not even gonna say it.
You ever had a Linkwood before by chance?
What's that?
Have you ever had a Linkwood by chance?
Yes, I have. And I actually have 2 or 3 vintage ones in my little collection I've got. I have a 30-year-old and I have a 22-year-old. They're both from independent bottlers, though.
Yeah, it's it seems like it's tough to find a distillery bottle anymore. I'm not sure if I heard recently they might be releasing something in the future, but I can't remember what it was.
Excuse me. I think I actually have one that's a single malt whiskey society one as well.
So I might have to join that because it seems like you guys do have a really good selection when it comes to a lot of their.
I think they do. What I would do first, if I was you, is look up see what kind of partner bars they have in your area.
Yeah, Jack Rose in DC is a big one. I've noticed.
Right on.
See,
Swami, I'd have a battle of wits with you, but I wouldn't like to fight an unarmed man.
This Linkwood that Tosh sent me, it's a 19-year Alexander Murray independent bottling. It's cask strength at 53.8, and I tell you, it's very good. I was surprised. I actually like this better than the. I've got I think it's 21-year Glenkeith. I've also got a 19-year Glenmossy from the same independent bottlers. This one is the same. And Linkwood seems to be the best of the 3, actually, I have to say.
Is it? So let me look here.
In my opinion, as far as what I like a good balance of fruit. And, I don't mind a little floral here and a little herbal there, but I want it to be well balanced, but mostly like a sweet kind of.
Have you done any Compass Box stuff? Yeah.
The phenomenology, that's really good. This is kind of reminiscent of that, actually. Trying to think of the No Name is excellent for a really nice smack peat dram. I wasn't a big fan of the double single, though. It was a little too one-dimensional for me. Trying to think of anything else I've had by them.
Double single. Which double single? The regular double single or their anniversary?
I think it was a regular one. It was a good sample from my friend Lee there, Lee G. He's a big fan as well of Compass Box. The Hedonism was pretty good. I had that one recently. I can't remember if that was from. I think that might have been from Paul. That was good.
And then my next question to you is: have you had any Compass Box or High West?
Oh yeah. Trying to think of anything besides the Midsummer Night's Dram. It was in Act 4, Scene 1, I think. And I do remember liking it. It was a good rye. It had very subtle deal, and I don't mind the deal as long as it's really in the background. That was pretty good. That's like the only High West I think I've had so far.
You've never had their double rye? Like when you mentioned floral, I think of double rye or the Rendezvous rye. So, and the reason I asked about Compass Box first is that I found out from the rep that was in Canada, from London or Scotland, that was doing tastings, that John Glasser and the guy that originally started Compass Box or High West, they're friends and they actually communicate with each other quite often.
Huh.
Because I've always said that when I was first doing a High West tasting, I said this guy really. The way it's done, it reminds me of a U.S. version of Compass Box. And then this year I find out that they're actually friends, right? But what brought that into my thought was because you said something about liking florals here and there. You're not.
Well, it's got to be on the very low end of the spectrum. If it's got peat, heavy smoke, or heavy sherry, the darker, like the tobacco, chocolate kind of notes. The floral, I don't mind as long as it's, in the herbal, if it's balanced. Even sulfuric and tannin stuff, I don't mind, like on a Ben Nevis, if it's, well balanced. But
so I would be very curious to see you get a bottle of Campfire and try it.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty good. It's funny because I started out as far as, I'm from Louisville, Kentucky originally, and I grew up with bourbon all over the place. I never really liked corn whiskey. So that kind of skipped that whole thing. And then my first Scotch was a peated Smokehead, and I fell in love with that right away. And then I just kind of stayed in the Isla, Campbelltown region for a while, and I've kind of branched out to Speyside and Highlands and some of those. But I'm really primarily a Scotch guy. I don't really get into the ryes as much, and definitely not the bourbons. So,
well, you know what Campfire has in it, right?
isn't that the one that's the three-way where it's like a little bit of rye, a little bit of bourbon, and a little bit of Scotch?
Yeah.
I've heard about that recently. It does sound intriguing to try, because as long as the corn's not in your face, which I wouldn't think it would be in that, then it should be pretty tasty. Yeah.
It is like a Campfire. It has that little smokiness to it, right?
Nice.
And there was an interesting thing, because so many people, and maybe the guys in the chats will comment on this, talk about how the Ardbegs, all the peated stuff is their winter dram, right?
Yeah.
But I saw an article recently, maybe last week, a Whiskey Advocate, and they went, "Why wouldn't it be a summer dram?"
Hell yeah, it's my everyday drink.
Sure, you're out in the back having a fire. You're in your house or whatever. You're dealing with different kind of smoke, different kind of stuff that way. So it would be like a campfire, as the High West is called itself, right? Travis Faircloth is going to bed.
Yeah, as long as it's not a super heavy, like trying to think. As long as it's not a. I mean, even a Yugadol is not super heavy. I mean, as long as it's not I don't know. They all taste good all the time to me.
Yeah.
The answer is stigma again. What is he doing?
No, I'm going to ask him a question here. Maybe he's being a little bit Eric Waitish.
Sorry for the background. I'm already drunk. Evil Dub. Are you new to the channel there, Evil? I think I might have seen you once before. I can't remember, though. If I'm
no, you know what?
Yeah.
I think what Evil Dub was saying is that he prefers he's a peat man.
Yeah, same here, pretty much. But I do like to have some sherry balancing it out, or some sort of cask influence. This just straight up like peat stuff is okay, but after a bit I'll get bored with it, and I'll want something else to kind of be around with it.
I think I'm tired of it. Period. Peat or sherry.
Oh, really?
I think it's I typed in etymology.com and they won't let me put in a website. Dumb freaking.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't trying to. I was just making a comment to you, Mr. Harmsworth.
You have to type like the name up the word and then space and then write the actual word .com together. And
yeah, just don't put the dot or whatever it is.
Yeah, I even tried .spacecom and it knew I was still putting a website until I did the name, and then I had a space, and then I typed .com together, and then it let me put it in there. It's such a pain in the ass. But then we're not fans of Oogie. Wow, that's surprising. Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, that's all right, man. Dummies are not fans of our. No, hold on a second. Oh, Oogie, really?
Well,
I thought they were fans of it.
I'm not sure if the fact that they weren't fans is probably that it didn't do as well against like Dark Cove and some of the better offerings from Ardbeg. Because I mean, the Oogie Doll is good, but the Dark Cove and some of the grooves and stuff like that is a hell of a lot better, I think. But
yeah. Well, I haven't got a bottle of the grooves yet.
Yeah, it'd be tough probably up there. The new one's coming out here June the 2nd. That might be a lot easier to take. The committee release, I'm sure, is going to be a pain in the ass, though, to try to find.
No, that's what I get. I automatically get a committee's release, right?
Oh, how do you are you? Because as an American, I can't order it from them. I can't get anything directly shipped over there.
I don't have to. I just am part of the. Go on their website and sign up to become a committee member, or whatever they call it, and they probably have a bar in or a liquor store in your area that is the Ardbeg rep or whatever they call it. And if you get an email, you'll get a bottle. They have to at least set aside one bottle.
Oh, weird! Because here
of the committee release stuff.
Yeah, here it's crazy where you have to know where which store they're gonna have it, and Thankfully,
Yeah,
I knew
well,
the one that was coming
that
to.
store has to be listed as an embassy, like a Ardbeg embassy or whatever they call it.
It is. The problem was they were so short that when they sent them out, they only sent like the one that like I knew about was one of the higher numbers, and that was only like 10, and they sold out within like 2 hours. And then the other ones, like my friend Lee down in Virginia, he tried all over the place near Richmond, and he couldn't find any of them down there. I found another one. I was lucky enough to find two, and I actually had to trade him one just to get him one. That's how bad it's been in America, at least.
I'll get 2 of them.
Oh wow, man! Don't tell him that.
I'll just wait till somebody else is in the store and say, "Yeah, I got my email right here. Can I have my committee release?"
Wow.
I'm not a fool.
I wish it worked out that way down here. That's for sure.
It's not what you know, it's who you know, boy.
Yeah, it's because I'm not sure if he's still in the chat. He might have taken off earlier, but he was very livid about not having any options. And Virginia has an ABC thing where you have to buy it through the state. It's very complicated. Yeah. I mean, even in my state of Maryland, we have counties that some counties have their own stores, and some counties are a free for all. It's really depends on where you live.
Yeah, it happens even up here. Good night, Loch Ness.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Loch Ness. It's good to at least test to see if we could do a live. It took some finagling, but I'm glad we figured out what the problem. I mean, I guess you figured out what the problem was on your side of what the echo was from.
I didn't do anything. I'm pretty sure it was your side.
But I didn't do anything either.
You're still on my mic. You're still on my computer speakers.
I don't get it, man. I guess there's a setting somewhere. Hopefully someone will sit down and write like a manual or something for these things.
Well, then there's other ones that kind of work better, but you got to take your time to learn how to use them.
Yeah, I used to use this OB Studio with the Scotch 4 Dummies that use this really elaborate program to do their streams, and man, I could do it because I am a computer guy, but man, it took a while just to get the ins and outs, and I was having so much trouble with this old Surface Book I used to use that I just gave up and eventually had to get a new computer anyway, but now it's working a hell of a lot better than it used to. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this Linkwood. Did you really like the Linkwoods that you had before, Dane?
Yeah, I did. What did you say that Linkwood is from? That's an independent bottler?
Yeah, this is the Alexander Murray. It's a 19-year from 1997. It's a cast strength of 53.8, and it's my favorite.
Alexander Murray's putting out some nice stuff.
Yeah, these other two were good. The Glenkeith 21 from 95 and the Glenmossy 19 from 97. But this Linkwood, I think, steals the show out of the 3 from Alexander Murray that I've had.
Yeah. Well, I am liking right now. I finished my Wisers, which was my starter to Ram, and now I'm doing So 42 is Lecheg.
Nice.
Also considered Tobermory Distillery. And this is peated. It's 9 years old. And it's a refill barrel ex-bourbon, and it's 59.5% ABV.
Damn.
And there's only 204 bottles.
Wow. That's quite a exclusive then. I'm surprised.
I got for $127 Canadian.
Wow, that's awesome then. It's probably about, I'm trying to think of what that would be American. I'm horrible at the exchange rate, but
minus 30%, give or take.
Wow. That's just crazy.
I mean, that might be high for a 9-year-old in some people's minds, but it's pretty exclusive.
As popular as Lecheg is, especially in Canada, I know Fuquig is like always drooling to get his hands on like a 10-year, no matter what year it is. I bet you Swami says he's leaving, but the chat like filtered out his comment.
Swami wants me to send him a bottle.
Take off, Swami. I'll see you, man. Have a good one.
I'll send you a bottle, all right, Swami, but I don't know what it'll cost you. Things are getting a little tough out here for me, I tell you.
Do you think 150 is high for an 18 at Lecheg? That's a distillery bottle. That's pretty. Do you think 150 is a pretty good deal for a distillery bottle of a Lecheg 18?
$150 for a distillery bottle.
Yeah, the 18-year Lecheg.
And it's a cask strength single barrel.
Good question. Let me see if let me pull up the old distiller here and see the 18.
$109 is $84 US.
Wow, that's really a nice deal, even for a 7-8 year or whatever. That's this is 46.3. It's finished in ex sherry. That sounds good, man. I think I might have to try it.
Yeah, I would.
It's hard to say no. It's like because the Chick 10 I have had, and it's I had it at a really good Scotch bar in Baltimore. It's a nice sit down place. You can really enjoy a dram, and I was happy with Chick 10, so I think this has got to be pretty good. But I'd still like to try the one you've got there too. For the that's 56 point something you said. I mean that's a nice cask strength there.
59.5.
9.5. If it's not cask strength, it's got to be pretty damn close to it.
Oh, that's cask strength.
I'll say 63. I think is the highest they can possibly make it, if I'm not mistaken.
Forget. I mean, you get stuff that's 66. That's the highest I've ever seen, and I think that's the highest you'll get. I have some Bruichladdich Q4. What is it? Triple or quadruple distilled, and that's.
Oh wow.
I think that's close to 64, 65.
Damn, that's crazy.
Moonshine that they put in the oak for 3 years. That's it.
If you still have that Bunnahabhain, let me know, because I'd like to get a sample of that.
Which Bunnahabhain?
The one you were talking about, the quadruple or the triple
No,
distilled?
Bruichladdich.
Oh, Bruichladdich. I'm sorry. Even that, I'd be all about trying that. We'll have to. I'm not sure how you could trade salsa across Canada line, but there's got to be some way.
Well, I can ship you samples. You can't ship. Well, you can. I think that some people made some mistakes. Somebody, and no names mentioned, Santa Cruz, and call it olive oil.
Oh no!
You don't call it anything that a human could consume. So I ship stuff, and I just say it's a decanter.
Yeah, I'd be usually the ceramic art guy.
I don't know what your laws are down there. In your state, I've shipped stuff to Wichita, to the STDs. I've shipped stuff to Germany, not a problem. So
it is all based on state, and it changes. It seems like every other week I'll look and something has changed, or someone has misinterpreted or reinterpreted the law a different way, and it's like, oh my god. But it's crazy. As long as you're above 21, I'm surprised that they make you go through all this hell just to taste a little salsa.
Everybody is just trying to get their nickels worth.
And I don't know, I'm paying tax, I mean, hell, it's bad enough to have to pay UPS, $10, $20, but if it takes another 5 or 10 to make sure it gets somewhere in one piece, and that's okay by me, but they don't give you that option, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what got you to start doing a YouTube channel?
It's weird. When I first got into Scotch, I was just looking for videos, and I found the Scotch for Dummies and watched them for a bit. And then I thought, let me see what else is out there. And you found Ralphie and some of the other guys have been doing it for quite a while. And over time, I thought, it'd be kind of cool to do something, but I wanted to do something different. I thought about maybe doing like interviews with people that did the Scotch reviews themselves, like have a moment with Aquavite, have a show with Scotch for Dummies, and ask them more questions about like you're asking me. But I just got into it so much and loved Scotch so much that I thought, what, if I'm going to go through and get these kind of bottles and after the investment, it's like, for me not to at least share the experience with other people, it just wouldn't make any sense not to do it, even if it was just a fun, hour get together with a friend or have a live setting. And I don't really have the time or patience to sit down and do really crazy, well done, production videos. But if I did, it would be just as, the same as some of these other guys anyway. So,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's fun to get a different perspective too, because someone else has had, I don't know, we pick one, the lore, for example, from Lefroy. I'll get totally different notes, I'm sure, from anybody else. So but it's kind of good to get some, as many perspectives as you can. That's what I thought was kind of tough, and that's why I wanted to get involved, because some of the stuff that I like Bunnahabhain, Cormacvona, or Erna Grain, or some of these more off-the-wall specific distillery offerings, I couldn't find any reviews on them. I was like one of the first ones to do, I think, one on the Kalvanock and maybe even the Choichek in English. There was some I found like in German, but it's tough to find some of these more off-the-wall NAS, things, and it's a gamble to spend, 80, 90 American dollars on some of these and don't know what you're really in for.
I think you should become a member of the SMWS if you like obscure stuff. So,
yeah, they have a lot of really good cast strength and off the wall kind of offerings from all over the place. That I think it's just a cost thing. That's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm sure it adds up over time, because then you have to pay for like a membership, you have to pay per bottle and all that. But if you're already spending, $300 or $400 a month, then you might as well get your money's worth, I guess.
I guess spend more than that. But
as I say, I'll tell my wife.
Yeah, Julia's pretty good. She doesn't really worry about me. She might when I start asking her for a loan, but
yeah. No,
Santa Cruz says we are both good at shooting off the hip. Live shows seem to work well for both.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for all the growing pains in the beginning trying to figure out the whole mic thing.
Yeah, it might have been. I mean, I have my. I plug this in now, so now you can hear me. Come here, little girl. Want some candy? I'll get you next time, Gadget.
That's pretty good, Dr. Evil. What's that guy's name? Is it Dr.
Claw.
The Claw, that's right. Oh, man.
I am your father.
Yeah, I swear I knew it was when you're in somewhere, but I had no idea how to tell you what to unplug or plug in or whatever to get it fixed.
Because he kept saying my speaker was coming through, but I'm like, I have a speaker on all the time, and it doesn't seem to do that. But I've made the mistake before of having the YouTube opened, so I can go back right now. Like right now, what I see was as soon as I clicked on it, you're laughing about me talking into the mic, right?
Yeah, mine was muted too. That's the first thing I do when I hit live. I'd make sure that's turned down or muted at least, and that's why I was like, well, I'm coming through his speaker somehow. But I'm just glad it worked out after that. That's the only thing we did. It was kind of wonky, it seems like.
That happened. I mean, look at World Whiskey Day. Poor Mark Wiki Whiskey.
Oh yeah,
he couldn't even get his to work, and I Santa Cruz says, pour another dram, Daniel. I have one right here, buddy. I'm drinking 60% alcohol almost here.
Yeah, see here. That's funny.
Simulcast just came on, buddy, and said hi to you.
Hey, Simulcast. Good. Thanks for stopping by, man. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I guess you got a late start, but it's never too late to have a dream, that's for sure.
They're asking, Steve Connor asked me what I'm drinking right now. I started with a Wiser's 15-year-old, but then I switched to this SMWS bottling. 42.24 called the Bee's Knees, which for number 42 is Lacheg Tobermory. 9-year-old, 59.5% alcohol. Have you ever read the descriptions on an SMWS bottle?
I have online. I haven't had one physical, but they are very descriptive in some of their deals I've seen.
So let me read this one to you, okay?
Okay.
Sea salted caramels, Churreros with salty peanut sugar and bitter chocolate on the nose, neat, followed by an amazingly sweet, salty, and smoky sensation on the palate. Even diluted, it was still tantalizing, every nook and cranny of your tongue. Oh. It's like erotica whiskey. It's like whiskey erotica.
I was gonna say, it probably has some chick write the descriptions on those bottles, I'm sure.
It's actually a whole writing panel, and I think they circulate. One of the guys at the Keg and Cork in Edmonton is called the Keg and Cork. They're the partner liquor store or the embassy, whatever they call it.
Are you located out in Edmonton or Calgary? I'm just curious.
Edmonton.
Oh, okay. And do they have at least one bar there for the SW, the Scotch Whisky Society there for you?
No, we have a partner, not a partner bar, but a liquor store called the Keg and Cork that every month, beginning of the month, first week of the month, we get to try 7 of the SMWS because every month it's 7 outrun. Nice. Same with Calgary. There's 300 members Calgary and I think 30 in Edmonton, but I think Calgary has kind of wavers up and down, and Edmonton has been growing, but slowly, cool. Surely.
Edmonton's the capital, correct?
Yes, but Calgary is where all the white collar people work, right?
So Calgary has a larger population, right?
Somewhat larger. There's about 1 million people in Edmonton now.
Oh, okay.
But Edmonton is basically the gateway to Fort McMurray.
Okay, right? I gotcha.
Yeah,
that's cool. That it's growing. You definitely don't want to see it like dwindling out. That's when you kind of panic.
Well, if you kept your U.S. Celebrities away from Fort McMurray and tree hugging, dirt worshiping Jane Fonda comes up there in her helicopter or plane and flies over and complains about all the oil. I'm like, all right, take the oil out of your plane, you wanker. Well, I mean, come on. Look, you got more plastic made from petroleum in your body. You fake little, I mean, hey, if we did what we were supposed to do in the beginning, grow your own food, make your own clothes, build your own house, then fine. We don't need to be digging all the oil out of the ground. But that's just, it's not, you can't shut oil off.
Right. Not unless you have a miracle.
And if you think that buying an electric car is better for the environment, you better give your head a shake. Right? I mean, they get the nickel from Cuba. Cuba ships it all the way somewhere to China to be transported into something else, and then it comes it's just not logical the way they think.
No, I hear you. It's here, and I don't think things will change unless they have some sort of miracle from you know, if you could take algae and just shove it in your gas tank, it'd be different. But until that happens, we're gonna be slaves to OPEC, I think.
For a long time, yes. And Duncan Hemsworth says Edmonton has a big mall. We do,
like the Mall of America.
You have the same people that own that mall in Edmonton own the Mall of America.
Oh, okay. Should be called the Mall of Canada.
Could be the Gramasians. They're called. Mall. I don't know. Listen, I live in the United Provinces of America. You live in the United States of America. We're both Americans, right?
Have you ever talked to someone from Ontario about secession?
Of the whiskey?
No. Have you ever talked to someone from like Toronto, Canada, about seceding from, or I'm sorry, the United States annexing Canada? And I was visiting in Toronto. I'm surprised that some people felt that they wish that the United States would actually annex Canada, but not Quebec.
They want to take over Canada, but they don't want the where's Swami when you need him?
Yeah, the guy from Toronto wanted the United States to come in, I guess, and take Ontario, but he wanted to leave Quebec where they were. I guess they have a lot of bitterness going back and forth over there.
You know what? The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you guys don't have that kind of back and forth tit for tat in the East as they do. In the West as they do in the East, right?
No, we just fight with the provinces right beside us.
Oh, okay.
Right now, it's all about a pipeline, and they do not want one going through the states or through to BC. And so our premier has said, fine. You're going to get it whether you like it. Here are the legal reasons, because most of our politicians are lawyers, which I think is the same as yours.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't care because it's going to happen. People are going to. We're still making oil here, right?
Hopefully, still make whiskey too.
And they'll still make that. That's how they keep us controlled. We're all economic slaves. It is here Quebec that wanted the referendum. They wanted to separate.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? We've got people in Western Canada that want to separate as well.
Oh wow.
I was born in British Columbia and grew up out east. So when I get asked where I'm from by guys from different provinces, I just say Canada.
Yeah.
I'm from I know down in the US, especially when you get farther south, because I work with guys. I work with a guy from Indiana. He's really big. He builds his own musket rifles and hunts squirrels. It's a big thing down there, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that where you're from?
I'm from Kentucky originally.
Kentucky,
so, yeah.
Anyway, and I'm working with a guy right now from Georgia.
But that's interesting.
They work for a specialty welding company, and they got a guy from Florida. There's a mixture of guys in there. It's kind of funny. I get him going a bit. I think he liked me, but he got a little upset with one guy. Said something about non-union and union, and of course, this guy from the U.S. is hardcore union.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the other guy made a mistake, and I told the guy from Georgia. I said, "Don't worry about him. He's just from Alberta. They're stupid." Right? The other guy probably. I mean, I get away with it because I'm from Alberta, technically, right? But it's all the same, man. I mean, here's what we go on and on about whiskey in different regions. This whiskey's better, that one's better, and so forth, right? When you were in high school, your high school had a high school cheer. And basically, your high school was better than the other high school, right?
Right.
You live in the south side of wherever you live, you're better than the guy that lives on the north side, right? It's just the way we've been since we were kids. I mean, there's a level of having pride, but we also have to have respect too, right?
Yeah, it's the country here. I'm not sure if it's as divided in Canada as it is here, but it's extremely polarized right now, and I think that's why you saw this big rift between the guy that was, because your non-union is usually a Republican, your unionized guys are usually the Democrats, and it's kind of like a huge rift right now.
My buddy from Indiana, he works for a company from Holland, and it's quite interesting. But he told me, he says, "Yeah, it don't matter if you were born into a Republic family and you wanted to do something else." It's not a good idea. You just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Whatever your great grandmother said, that's what you're doing. Basically, is the way he put it to me, anyway. And we were drinking black art.
Oh, nice.
We were talking about this. It was up in Fort McMurray a couple of years ago. They had a big fire, eh? Like the whole freaking town caught on fire almost. Of course, it was only the bush around it, but it was a lot of fire.
Oh man.
Yeah. Talking about fire, Santa Cruz and says the grass is greener on both sides in California. I'm like, really? I don't know about that, man. You had some massive forest fires down there.
I think he's talking about the marijuana.
Well, that's funny that you bring that up because up here we're legalizing it, right?
Wow. I think everybody's going to eventually.
The entire country is pretty much legalized here in a very short period of time. And the liquor stores, so you have Total Wine, right?
Right. It's one of the big ones.
Well, that corporation is up here as well. And they call the big stores, they call them Wine and Beyonds. And they look just like your Total Wines, really. Mm. They're renovating them right now. And they also own Liquor Barn, Liquor Depots, and a couple of other different names. But they have been getting rid of these liquor depots and liquor barns and getting ready to put out, is it just Wine and Beyond? Because they're going to open up dispensaries beside them. Now, there's certain Canadian laws, I don't know the Canadian laws, but laws that exist that will not allow you to be an employee in both. You can't work for the liquor store and work for the dispensary, which I'm like, makes no sense, but whatever.
That's weird.
I can't see the logic behind it, but maybe there is something. But it always makes me laugh because I think of Amsterdam, where prostitution is legal. Does that mean there is no illegal prostitution?
Right, I see what you're saying.
Right? I mean, there are certain things that are legal in the alcohol in North America is legal. It's not legal if you make your own and try to sell it off your porch.
Woo!
Right? Exactly. And you're from Kentucky. Don't tell me you never bought no stuff off some guy's porch.
I'm not saying anything, man.
Yeah, we're on live. I know. I seen you in that TV show.
I've seen a few wash tubs and jug blowing and mandolin playing and sipping. So on the porch, I know what you mean.
I don't think you've seen it from a distance, though.
No, it was up close and personal in the neighborhood.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
they are right there in the window in Amsterdam. Yes, they are Santa Cruzan, but then you can drive somewhere else where the unlicensed, unsanctioned prostitutes are. And I've never been to Amsterdam. I'm just reading. I just read that somewhere. Right? I mean, it's illegal. So we have legalized marijuana. Does that mean that there still won't be guys selling it? You know, it's probably going to make the stuff that's on the street cheaper.
Well, you would hope so. I mean, it's a weird thing that I hear people say all the time, and it's different. The grade and the power is different than the stuff that was floating around in the 70s and 80s compared to today. But it's probably laced with some crazy strychnine or some crazy stuff that they cut it with or something, I guess. I don't know what the deal is there.
I'm pretty sure you're right there, yeah.
Uh-oh, I've lost your audio there.
Did you unplug yourself?
I've lost your audio completely.
Where did I go?
Nope, you are not coming through anymore. Can anybody hear him in the chat there? Let me know if you can still hear Throttle, because I can't hear him anymore. Make sure I didn't mute anything. No.
I don't know.
When you get a chance, you got to try this Beinn Dubh, man. This is really actually interesting for a change or something different.
They can hear me.
Let's see. I see your audio. Oh, you can hear us both. Something happened to my end, I guess. Then once
you need to turn on your speakers.
What can I say while he's not listening, guys?
This kind of stuff.
Let's say something about those silly headphones he's wearing.
Sure, man. Sounded good. You still there? There we go. My fault. My end.
Before he can hear me, you got any good Kentucky jokes?
I don't. Sorry, man. I you know what? I hate this headset thing sometimes, because if you accidentally hit a button, you know how it goes.
Telex Santa Cruz and asked you what you were drinking, buddy.
This is the hopefully you can read that from this angle. The lighting might be a little weird, but the Beinn Dubh, Beinn Dubh, from the Speyside Distillery, 43%, very dark coffee, almost like this is the actual color, which is crazy.
It is amazingly dark. So who puts that out again?
This is from that Speyside Distillery with the Speyside name. It's just look up a Beinn space Dubh, and you'll see it's a Gaelic for Black Mountain. And they're not kidding when they talk about the Black Mountain, my friend. It's very different. It's like an Auchentoshan 3-wood taste.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up right now.
I mean, it's tasty. It's just so. I wish the mouth coat was a little bit, more oilier, a little heavier, but wish there was a little more actual fruit in the palate. But there are enough other notes that make it complex, so it's kind of a.
So the distillery is called Speyside?
That's the name of it. Yeah, it's strange. It's a
Spey from Speyside Distillery. So I sent a bottle of that to Swami.
Oh wow!
Not that one.
Similar.
Geez, I hate this stupid. I agree that stupid websites. Yeah, okay, you can have my first
disclaimer. Yeah, don't you love that? It's their cover our ass statement. They're trying to get you to click on it.
Jason Fisk is having a good night. Take care, buddy.
Yeah, good night, man. Hope you had enjoyed yourself, minus the technical glitches here and there, but we're learning as we go.
Spey. So the one I sent him was, they have one out that's called Fume, I think, as in smoke.
Ah.
And the other one I sent him is the Tenna, or Tenne. Tenne, is it?
Is that the same distillery?
I don't know.
Let me see if it's the same. Because I have heard of that Spey. They have like the river and the Trutina and the Fumare and
Sure, yeah.
all that stuff. Let me see if it's the same guys. Not available in the U.S. That must be. Hold on 1 second. Fumare.
But it's available up here in the UP, United Provinces. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think the one you're talking about is actually, the name is Spey just by itself. If the distillery I'm talking about is actually called Speyside. If you I'm trying to think what other offerings they have besides this one. Let me look at something real fast. Speyside Distillery.
Well, this one here says speysidedistillery.co.uk. And they come in a funny little skinny bottle.
I see what you're saying. Let me see something though. 1 second. Speyside Distillery Company. See if they have an actual website somewhere. I don't think they do. Let me see. It was founded in 1990, so it's recent. Close to the village of Kingsea. Produces the Speyside single malt and the Drumgush single malt. That's like the cheapest Scotch I've ever seen, by the way, is Drumgush. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
No.
DRUM as in drum, and then GUISH. It's at a local place for like $20, and it's a single malt, believe it or not. I'm not sure if it's any good. I haven't like. It had
kind of what Whiskey Untitled was talking about a little bit. Anyway, they were kind of talking about NAS and price, and is this worth it, not worth it?
Yeah, go to Wikipedia and just look up Speyside in distillery, and it should give you this one link. It was founded in '62, finished in '87, and production started in 1990. Man, it took forever. That's crazy.
So the Speyside Distillery, Wikipedia.
Yeah, I think this is different than the one you're referring to. Let me look it up. Spey.
It's in the hamlet of Drumguish.
Yes, that's the one.
So what are they known for mostly? Whiskey,
that's the word.
Are they used in blends? Is that why they're not?
There's not a lot of information on these guys. Looks like they got a 10-year single malt that's got a 12 and a 15. Whilst the unaged malt club Drumgush is also available, but that's just got the Glentromian, that Kudub. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. They additionally produce various blended whiskeys like Glenhood, Bestseller, Scottish Prince. I never heard of any of those, but very strange that I don't really see anything else about them. I'm trying to find just the Spey one in distillery and Wikipedia, see if I can find any other information on just that, if it's separate. But
so what are you drinking from them again? I know you've told me several times, but
it's BEINN space DUBH.
And you got this sample from somebody?
Yeah, Lee G that was in the channel earlier.
Huh. Unique.
Yeah, it is very, very different than anything I've ever had. There is a beindubh.com that you can go to. That's exactly what it is. It's not Ruby Black. It's just called the Black Mountain. But this might be like a newer offering or something.
B-E what?
BEINN space DUBH. That's Bravo Echo India Nancy space Delta Uniform Bravo Hotel.
Yeah. Is it in the black or?
It's just a black one.
So the name is a Scottish mountain that is situated 8 kilometers west of Cranelagh Ridge.
This must be a newer version or something. This says Ruby Black. I'm not sure if it's like sherry influenced or what.
So Maltmaster has I have seen this bottle somewhere in Edmonton.
Oh wow.
And I think it's $71 Canadian, they're saying.
That's a bit pricey, but it's
it's just pronounced Beinn Dubh. And it means Black Mountain is a thick, incredibly dark whiskey produced at the Speyside Distillery.
Oh, the BH is silent because it's on the end. That makes more sense. Because usually it's soft V, but you're right. It's just Beinn Dubh because it's on the end. Gotcha.
Well, I'm not right. I'm just reading to you what they have on here.
That makes sense, though. That not you say it. The yeah, it's very, very different, but maybe worth a try. Yeah, I'd say if you can get maybe at an expo or like some sort of if you can talk to someone and giving you a pour or something, it's definitely worth a try.
59 or 49 pounds.
It's a bit high, but if it was $50 American, maybe, but not $50, not 50 pounds. That's a bit high in my opinion, but
that's the Whiskey Exchange, which is always high.
Yeah. I'm just saying what I think it's worth, you know, if you had I'd say it's, you know, $50 worth a try. I wouldn't go above like
McCullough does a review of it. What's his name? Whiskey.com, the German guy.
Oh, Horst Lewins, something like that?
Horst, okay, yeah.
I'll just call him Horst because I can't pronounce his German last name. But okay, I'll have to take a look at that and see what he says, just out of curiosity, because I haven't looked for other reviews. That's a good point. It's a good idea. Well, I hate to cut this off, Dan.
No,
but,
it's a good idea.
I'm going to have to, because I have to get up, unfortunately. And even though I get to work from home, I still have to get up at like 8 o'clock tomorrow, my time.
I got to get up at 5 o'clock.
Ooh, and your time, that's still rough because you're only a couple of hours, I think, behind me, right? It's 12 o'clock here. Is it 10 o'clock your time?
It is 12 after, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Cool. Thanks so much for stopping by, everybody, and we'll do this again soon under hopefully a more easier configuration. I guess I don't know.
Switch it up. Try. You know, I'm sure Rob, Malta to Montreal, whatever, they'll all have you on their show, and vice versa. It don't matter, right?
Yeah, I just wish that I knew what you changed to make it where it's easy to figure out how to switch it again if we decide to do another one sometime.
Well, I'll tell you now, a lot of the guys go up to that area on the screen, which of course I can't pull up right now, and they actually do it via an email. I can't see it right now because I'm a guest.
Right.
But if I was hosting, you'd see the little person. But you can send an email to the person, and it comes up with this link, and they just click on it, and it does the same thing.
Yeah, that's how I got you in after the fact. But hopefully the sound issues and stuff will be crazy like we went through on our deal. But I really appreciate you stopping by and chatting, and I learned some things, and hopefully everybody else did too.
There's always something to learn.
Oh, yeah.
I like the chats. I like to see what people are doing in the chats. It's quite fun there.
Yeah, and for just having some fun, enjoying some whiskey, and what other thing there is to do anyway, right?
Richie just came in.
Hey, Richie.
Evil Dub was giving us the piece or whatever the hell this is.
The horns, man. That's Ronnie James Dio. You remember him, don't you?
No, I'm too
He's from the freaking 70s. He was the lead singer of Black Sabbath after Ozzy left.
You ever heard of the Bad Uncles?
No.
They're from Germany. I don't know how to say it in German. I think they were banned.
Uh-oh.
There we are. I moved my mic and hit the mute button.
Okay.
Yeah.
That must have been
Devil's Horns.
Yeah, that's Ronnie James Dio from Black Sabbath originated that back in the, I'm sure it was like the 70s or something. That's funny.
Right
Well, thanks so much for stopping by, everybody, and hope to see. Check out Whiskey Throttle's channel. Subscribe. Give us the thumbs up. Give him the thumbs up on his channel.
Thank you very much. And don't forget to like this. How many viewers have you had, and how many likes do you got?
I do not
likes,
know.
viewers.
Probably about that. I'm not surprised it's coming on, not telling anybody about it, until like right at the time we were going to do it. I knew I wanted to do something maybe Tuesday, but I was like not sure of when, and wanted to kind of run through the testing first and all that. But I'm glad it worked out either way.
Yeah, I do too, man. It was good. Hey, thanks, Duncan. I hope we gave you some entertainment. Probably just laughing at the way I look, but that's all right as long as you're laughing. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. All right, man. Take it easy.
You too. Thanks a lot.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.